There are a lot of ways to become a millionaire, with some career paths that are statistically more likely to become a millionaire than others. In this video, I go over the top 4 careers backed by thorough research that you are statistically most likely to become a millionaire in. First, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and we'll go ahead and jump into the video right now. There's the obvious answer, which is to become a pro athlete, a surgeon, or a lawyer. But the reality of this is becoming an exceptional pro athlete that makes millions of dollars is impossible for most. And a surgeon or a lawyer requires many years of hard education, expensive schooling, time, and even the brain capacity in the first place to even adequately complete the schooling. So here I'm going to go over the 4 careers that are obtainable for most, don't require expensive schooling or a special talent to hit that millionaire mark. It's important to note that Ramsey Solutions conducted a survey of 10,000 US millionaires, and in that survey, the majority of the millionaires weren't in some crazy high-paying job. In fact, only 15% of millionaires were in C-suite or in leadership roles. Most millionaires in this study attributed their wealth to working hard. Over 1/3 of these millionaires never made over 6 figures in their entire career, and 31% averaged over $100,000 a year over the course of their career. So this millionaire status is entirely possible for anyone, and you can achieve it sooner by investing and making smart money decisions. We'll go over this in greater detail throughout the video, actually at the end of the video. But first, let's chat about careers that can get you to that millionaire mark without having to spend a quarter of your life in schooling. A real estate property manager is the hands-on deck person that maintains operations for a full apartment building. This includes advertising, new rentals, handling maintenance and repair requests, attending to tenants' complaints, and collecting payments and managing evictions. A property manager is paid by the property owner a fee based on the gross rent collected on the property. Now, how much you make from there really depends on 2 crucial factors. One, are you working for a property management company and making a salary, or are you running a company of your own with your own overhead? If you're working for another company, then the national average salary according to Indeed is $133,871 a year. If you work for yourself, then it really depends on how many properties you manage and what kind of expenses you endure. The standard fees for a property manager are 8 to 12% of the gross rent plus 1 month's rent when you lease out an apartment. So there's a vacant unit, you go ahead and advertise it and bring in a new tenant, you get a 1 month's rent for that. So if you manage 40 units with rents of $1,800 per unit on average, and these are all fully occupied, then the gross rent would be $72,000 a month. You would get $5,760 a month of that on the low end, plus another $1,800 whenever you flip a vacancy. Or $8,640 a month on the high end, so this would be the 12% bracket, plus $1,800 whenever you flip a vacancy if you're providing a service that's worth that 12% number, so a little bit more. This profession can make you a millionaire fast by acquiring more units to manage, making more income by simply working diligently in this profession for a minimum of 7 years. If you're working for someone else, by working and making this amount of money for 7 years, you would have made $1 million without any expensive education or talent. Now, this doesn't come without some cons. As with property management, you are literally the middleman, so it can very easily become a balancing act, trying to keep the landlord happy and the tenant happy at the same time, when both are often on opposite ends of the spectrum. Landlords are known for wanting you to maximize income, minimize expenses, and the tenant obviously wants to pay as little rent as possible for what they're getting. So this is a balancing act. Both parties are right, but just saying, it can be a little tough as the middleman on that. Maybe real estate property management isn't for you. The next option would be a owner-operator trucker. So when companies expand and need to cater to a new customer, they need someone to transport their products. Owner-operators own their own trucks and enter into deals with companies to deliver products for these companies. So because these individuals are considered independent contractors, they keep the full revenue provided from the contract for delivering the product. Now, where they are independent, they are responsible for all maintenance that comes along with the truck and acquiring new contracts. But according to Indeed, national average you can expect to make in this position is $210,396 a year. It does require driving long hours and hard work, but at this rate, you could make $1 million in just shy of 5 years. 5,000 followers, I'm about 400 off, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button to see future content like this. So yeah, the biggest one with this is, or the biggest con with this I should say, is the working long hours. That can be extremely tedious, and where you're trucking, you're constantly traveling, so you could be away from family depending on if it's an overnight gig. Generally, it goes somewhere, drop off the product, you pick something else up, and you bring back product to a similar area. But this obviously can vary, and it's just something to consider. Next on the list is a commercial pilot. Many people think this one requires a lot of schooling. However, that's not the case. Now, obviously, you do need to become certified to obviously fly these giant planes, but it does not require any formal education. It does require about 1,500 hours of flight experience, which on average can be earned in about 2 years. That's what the amount of time that it generally takes for folks to pass and get the certification. But prior to this, you only need about 3 months to become a private pilot. So this would not go unpaid. On average, a private pilot makes $134,630 a year, while a commercial pilot on average makes about $202,180 a year. So while you're getting those flight hours to become a commercial pilot, you could be doing private aviation on this. Now, maybe you start in the private pilot gig and you stay there, then you can expect to make $1 million in about 7 years, while a commercial pilot will take you closer to just under 5 years. The crazy part with this is that the FAA limits the amount of time that you can actually fly a year, which is 1,000 hours. So, and that's to limit fatigue and make sure that the pilots are in the best mental shape possible to fly these planes. But that's about half the time of a normal job working 40 hours a week. So while a pilot doesn't make the most amount of money on this list, it is important to consider they are making this money while also only working 6 months a year. Now, there are cons with being a pilot. With flying, it can be tricky to raise a family as you are constantly gone for extended periods of time. With a 9-to-5 job, you're obviously gone for the day, but you're back by dinner or just after the kids get out of school. But this is generally while your kids are at school once again that you're gone and working. And with this current environment, it's more common than not to have a remote role so you can kind of see your family throughout the day and shortly after the kids get out of school once again. Now, if you're starting young and aren't ready or just don't want to have kids, then this is a null point and you could be a millionaire in no time at all. Aviation gig is a pretty cool gig. Like I said, doesn't require any formal education, pays extremely well, and there's nothing stopping you from having a side job for the other 6 months out of the year to really maximize that income and get to that millionaire threshold even faster. Becoming a business owner can be one of the quickest ways to make $1 million in a minimal amount of time. You sell a product or service with $100 margin. So that means $100 profit for what you make versus what it costs you. In this instance, you would need to sell or perform this service 10,000 times to hit that millionaire mark. I know this sounds like a lot, but if you break it up over 4 years, that could 47 sales a week. Now, the more expensive your product is and the higher your margins are, the quicker you can hit that millionaire mark. With the internet opening up your audience to millions of people, it's so much easier now than ever before to make that $1 million as a business owner. With proper marketing strategy, landing pages, and sales funnels, you can make more money than you know what to do with by being a business owner. Now, above and beyond all that, which I personally love about being a business owner, is you're creating something that's tangible. You're creating something that you can see, feel, and touch and nurture as if it's your little baby. Versus if you work for someone else, it's tough to see the actual tangible product that you're working for or towards. It can very easily feel like you're stuck on a hamster wheel, just jumping on, running around, jumping off, and then there's no real forward progress or movement that you personally can have a sense of accomplishment for. Now, I know there's probably varying views on this and some folks don't necessarily feel that or even care about it, but this is just something that I've personally faced with working for someone else, which can be a little discouraging. Being a business owner is it takes time to get a business up and operating. There are generally upfront investments that are required, and there's also the hands-on babysitting aspect until the business is actually up and off the ground. But if that doesn't bother you, then a few ideas with high margins for a business owner would be freelancing. So this would be for photography, social media management, website content, photo or video editing, and graphic design. This would basically be you go ahead and freelance your services out to a variety of people that might need that, and you sell your services that way. Now, before I continue on, these different business owner options I selected because they don't require a lot of upfront investment, if any at all. It really just requires your time, which makes it being easier to get started. There's obviously a lot of competition in the space, so you will have to work to differentiate your product and service so that way you can stand out amongst the ocean of other competitors. Next on that list would be affiliate marketing. This does require a social media presence and following, but this can be extremely lucrative. As an affiliate marketer, you basically attach yourself to a product. So say it's a razor, a shaving razor. You would then basically advertise that razor for the company, and they would provide you with an affiliate fee for those services. Or maybe they provide you with a link to track your actual sales. They can provide you a commission for that. It's basically sales. It's just commission based, and it's a fancy name for saying that. Next on the list is for the specific niche, and that's consulting. So if you are particularly good at a specific niche, then you might be able to market yourself to other businesses that could use your guidance and help. Or you could create and sell a product or coaching program where people can learn from you on their own time. Now, this is particularly great because you could even do both. So you could sell the coaching program at a monthly fee or a one-time cost, which opens up your options for income opportunities. And then you could also go to specific companies for a higher fee and give them hands-on guidance. Another option would be a newsletter. Maybe you're into sports, then a thorough newsletter with all the recent happenings for that day might be a good route that would work for you. You could provide it to consumers for a small monthly fee or include advertisements in the actual letter for payment from the company that you're advertising. This is great if you have a specific hobby or something that you're really into. It can make writing these newsletters easier and have it all worth it because you're getting paid to write those letters by either an outside business or by the monthly subscriber. And speaking of monthly subscriptions, that brings me to my next on the list, which is a membership program. This setup does require you to have something of value to offer that is of similar or more value than someone is willing to pay, and enough of a margin where you are making money. There are a variety of different directions you could go with this, from monthly products or maybe a clothing cleaning company or service where you pick up people's clothes for a set monthly fee and you wash, fold, and return them. You could also do this if you are a barber or wash cars. I would love to have a subscription where I pay a monthly fixed amount and get my hair cut and car washed a couple times a month. Can you imagine that? Someone shows up at your house on a Friday or Monday and they wash your car, you already paid for it in a monthly fee, and your car is all in great shape. You didn't have to do anything. You can focus on working and maybe creating other membership programs. And same with a haircut. You don't have to go anywhere. Someone can just come right to your house for a monthly fee. They cut your hair, they leave, you're good to go, and you can get back on with your day. I don't know about you, and I know these business owners do exist and these services do exist, but I feel like there should be more of them. That would be fantastic, and I think a lot of people could get value of that. These are just a few ideas that you might be able to use with low startup, high margins, and a strong possibility to make a lot of money. With these, you will never hit that millionaire status without properly taking care of your money. You should be saving, investing, and minimizing your frivolous spending. And it might be easy to say, but it should come with common sense. If you make $1 million in 1 year, but you spend $1 million in one, well, you're upside down and you technically didn't make any money for that year or realize any of that money that you earned. So it's important to take care of your money. And with that, there are many ways to budget. In this video, I'm not gonna go over it thoroughly because that's not what the video is about. But what I've found work best for me is using 30% of my income for needs, 20% for wants, and 30% for savings, and then 20% for investing. By breaking it up into small percentages for 4 different categories, it makes it easier. My income comes in and a percentage goes here, a percentage goes there. So that way I don't really have to think about it. And then maybe within those contributions, I have it automatically set up to invest within my Fidelity account into a variety of different funds or whatever it may be. But the next big thing above and beyond budgeting is to avoid lifestyle inflation at all costs. And I can't stress this enough because it is so common. And this is when you make more money, so you immediately think you can spend more. This keeps you on a hamster wheel plateau where you're running with no real progress or movement towards saving goals.